All right, guys, welcome. We got another good case study for you guys today. This is a wholesale deal that we bought at 2015 Island Avenue in the McKinley Heights neighborhood in our market of St. Louis. And this property here is in what we consider a hot spot. We got about 5 or 6 different neighborhoods in our local market that we consider a hot spot, which is a neighborhood that we have a lot of buyers in. We usually have really good spreads. And anytime we have a chance to buy a property in these neighborhoods, we're going to jump on it. We're going to be very aggressive because, like I said, we have very good buyers. We have a lot of buyers, and we have buyers that will pay a very aggressive price. And so we always try to jump on these. So what was cool about this one is usually these properties in this neighborhood need to be fully gutted. They're very old properties built in the early 1900s. Right around the World's Fair that we had here in St. Louis in 1904. And that was really the economic boom in the city of St. Louis. And this one of these houses in these neighborhoods, which is when they were built around that early 1900 range. So they're very old properties. They usually need to be fully gutted, which is why we get a good deal on them. The sellers can't afford to fix them up, so they sell them off, and then we sell them to rehabbers. Who can pay more. They'll do historic tax credits on it or whatnot and renovate the property. But this one here didn't need a ton of work, which is really intriguing. I wouldn't say it was like renovated, but you could have moved a tenant in this property by doing a little bit of flooring and paint and kind of some cosmetic updates. But this is a 4-bed, 2.5 bath property, just under 2,600 square feet. And the retail on these properties is anywhere from $350 to $400, kind of depending on size and what you do to it on the rehab side. All right, just give you guys kind of an idea of what the property looked like. Like I said, this is the living room. Didn't need a ton of work. Floors are in decent shape. Got some tile around the fireplace there. Kitchen cabinets, again, not my style, but could definitely use these as a rental if you clean them up. Bathroom. Probably could use some updating. Bedroom's got old carpet. And so from what you can tell here, you can see, needs some paint. I think some of these windows were newer. Some of them need to be replaced. Doors were in decent shape. Bathroom here, updated probably, 10, 15 years ago. I love this picture here. I put this one in. This was a mural. It's one of the coolest things I've seen in a property. I did a mural of the Saints, 2 guys from the Saints and a couple Cardinal players. Pretty neat there. So as you can see, it doesn't need a ton of work. Pretty good shape. And so I actually got the lead on this from a local wholesaler. It was 2 guys that I buy properties from. I bought in a lot of deals from them. I had a great relationship with them, have a great relationship with them. I've bought in, probably 3 or 4 deals leading up to this one. So they called me first. They know I'm a good buyer. I close when I say I'm going to close. I can close fast. And so I got the call on this one. Really interested in it because, like I said, it's in our hot spot. Jumped on it the second they called me. I went out there that day. And so I ended up buying this property. Actually, my wholesaler actually had it under contract with the seller for $125,000. And the wholesaler, they wanted a $30,000 fee, which usually is pretty aggressive. We don't usually give our wholesalers that big of a fee, but this was kind of a unique deal. Like I said, we got such a good discount on it that I felt like even paying them $30 and being all in at $155 was still a really good deal. And so got the financing from our bank. We had a lot of deals going at the time, so we got kind of creative with our bank. We kind of pulled some equity that we had, some other deals that we got, and our bank was very familiar with this property. They knew where this was. Their branch actually wasn't too far from this property, and so they actually financed it 100%, which is rare. Usually banks only cover by 80%. But it just goes to show that when you get deep discounts like this, even banks will recognize it. And if you work with the right banks, you can get some special terms like we did on this one here. And so we ended up buying the property, and we cleaned it out, did a little sprucing up, put it back on the MLS, ended up getting multiple offers on it. We ended up selling this property for $246,000. I think we ended up getting like 4 or 5 bids on it. And I can't remember what we listed the property for, but we got over list price on it. We had people just scratching and clawing to get this thing. Sold it for $246, and so we had some expenses. Like I said, we cleaned the property out. I had a cleaning crew come in and just wipe the cabinets down, vacuum the carpets, deep clean it. We had some leftover trash in the house that the previous owners had in there, so my guys came in, hauled that out. And so we ended up putting in about $14,245.23, and that's factoring settlement charges when we bought the property, a little bit of interest we had to pay. I believe there was a small loan fee from the bank when we bought it. And so we ended up making a profit on this one, $76,754.77. And guys, it just goes to show you, I mean, these deals are in every market in every part of the country. I hear people all the time say, I can't buy deals from wholesalers. You know, there's not enough meat on the bone. And more times than not, that is true. But it's just like anything else. All right, you have to know what guys to network with. And you're right, there's going to be a lot of wholesalers that are going to completely overpay for the property, and then they're going to charge you even more on top of that. Most of them aren't going to be good deals, but if you build the right relationships with the right wholesalers, and there are good wholesalers out there, all right, there's a lot of investors who make their living off buying properties off other wholesalers. You have to get in front of them. That's why it's important to go to your local RIA meetings, check all your Facebook groups, try and meet as many of these wholesalers as you can, because these are free leads. You know, even if they're bad, it doesn't cost you anything, to check your inbox. Meet these wholesalers, get in front of them, constantly stay in front of them, ask them on a monthly basis, hey, what do you got? What do you got? Check in with them, and if they're a high volume wholesaler, they will send you deals. You will eventually buy a deal from a wholesaler, but it may be a numbers game. It may not be the first, second, or third deal you look at, but if you look at enough deals, you meet enough wholesalers, this can eventually be a great avenue for you to buy discounted properties at. Hope you guys like this. If you want to see more case studies like this, let me know. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I'm going to put out more weekly case studies and educational videos just like this. So if you like it, give us a like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.